Okay, we're on.
Alright.
Alright, what are we doing?
Well, we're going to do a chart and we're going to explain it in the way that I explain it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So his chart we're doing and why?
We're going to do Anthony Kiedis.
Okay, and how's that relevant right now?
Well, because he's got a Sag moon and the moon's in Sag.
Cool.
So, yeah.
So let's see.
Alright. Okay, so everything happens in the day is up here. Everything that happens in the night is under here. So this is the 360 degrees of the flat plane of the horizon, the eastern horizon, the ascendant, because the constellations are rising and the planets rotate this way, ascendant, and they descend over here in the west. So it's setting in the west, everything goes to die westing, or the descendant is what it's actually called, but it's here they get judged.
You can just write DC.
Yeah, DC, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the descendant. But they get judged over here in this, anyway, it's a season that relates to the year as well. I'm just going to go over a chart here because we'll probably go into that later, but those are points on the year as well in the season. Like, and they all begin from the equinox with 0 degrees Aries. So I won't go into that now.
You need to do that as a separate video.
Okay. Yeah. So we're just going to go over basically, what astrology is just a study of the planets as they move over this, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They rise up, they hit 12 noon, like these are also points in the day. So it's 12, the MC, medium coeli, is 12 noon. So these are like points on the day. And the IC is 12 midnight. So they're, points on the day. And obviously it's changing through the season depending where we're at. Like it's, at the equinox, Aries, 0 degrees at 6 a.m. So we'll just go with that. And that's the one day that it is that time. Those perfect equilibrium. But that obviously changes through the season when the sun rises and sunsets. But for now, we'll just go with this because it's explaining. We'll just simply go over the houses because I think it's probably do another video with that. But so it's basically 360 degrees divided by 12 is 30 divided by 12. So there's 30 degrees in each sign, and that's basically a degree for the sun. The sun goes, it's tracking. We're in a solar system, so it's tracking the sun as it goes 1 degree each day through the 360 degrees of the 12 signs. So it's mathematical, but it's also symbolical in that it's the symbolic reality of the constellations, which are mansions of the gods, which are the planets. So for example, Neptune rules the 12th house.
Want some colours? Yep.
Yeah, let's get the colours. So all the planets basically rule or have places where they're home. Like Neptune, which was Jupiter, because I only discovered Neptune recently. But Neptune rules the 12th house, and Neptune is the 12th house is Pisces. So, and it's the feet. So it's actually the end. Pisces is the end.
Rules the feet.
Yeah, it's the feet. So we should really start with Aries, the head, actually, because I'm going the wrong way.
You are. You're starting at the 12th house.
Correct.
But that's important because it doesn't actually go. You know how you say the sun rises up, but actually it goes the opposite way.
That's right, exactly.
Which can be confusing, but
yeah, exactly.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, that's right. It's always a spinning within a spinning, and it's usually in opposite directions. So the planets, as they progress this way, the constellations, spin the other way. So you'll find that wheels in wheels, anyone who knows about mechanics, it's often just gears, wheels in wheels spinning, to give a mechanical advantage, and astrology is similar. But anyway, we'll go back to the first house, Aries, which is ruled by Mars. It's the season of the spring.
And why are you using red?
Because it's a fire sign. It's cardinal fire, so it's red for fire.
And what's cardinal mean?
Cardinal is the mode of the element. So all of the elements, it all begins with fire basically, but then the fire extrudes and radiates its fire, but it basically burns out. It burns out a place. And so once that fire develops, the cosmic element needs earth. It needs to stabilize. It needs a solidity after the fire of the burning of the spring, of the germinating of the seed, of the plant seed sprouting. You know, it gives a abundance of life, and it becomes necessary for, you know, it's like a grass. It's a forest. It's grass basically. And so then the earth element is developed through that fire of the germination. Begin with Mars and Aries in the spring, but then it's and this is also like the radiation quality. It's solar, and then magnetic is Taurus, so it becomes then feminine, and it's it's a magnetic frequency, and it's earth. So the earth element then becomes necessary. It becomes, you know, into cycle. And this is, you know, like the image of a bull on the grass, the eating of the grass, or the animals, you know, that eat the grass. It's just this process of taking things in, you know, of the earth and all of that, and then the consuming, you know, which then goes over to the stomach in Virgo.
Mm-hmm. So we've got first house, second house.
Yep. And so then the earth element develops to its full capacity, and then once that's done sufficiently, then the air element comes online, and the air element begins first energy of the air, or the mental. The air basically comes into cosmic development, and that's done under the sign of Gemini, which is actually the third force of nature, which is transcendent, actually, the conditions of. The other thing I didn't mention, so all the planets are either solar and masculine and positive, like they radiate a positive solar, it's a positive force, upward flowing, or it's nature, the other force of nature is a downward flowing, magnetic, negative force. They're just two primary forces in nature, and everything in nature are like under one of those conditions. However, Mercury is the condition that's transcendent to that.
Both, right?
Yeah, it's both. Yeah. So it's a hermaphrodite, or it's an androgyne, or it's the psychopomp, they called it. It's both. So, and Mercury is the mind. So that just shows us that the mind is the transcendent aspect that is able to escape the conditions of nature. Mercury is able to go, you know, to all the kingdoms. He can escape the harsh conditions of nature. This is our mind. This is why it's important to study and develop the mind, and to study to know the self, because it's the mind that gives us freedom from the strict conditions of nature, you know, of male or female. It's, you know, so that's why Mercury is so important, and our mind. But yeah, that mental development begins here.
Yeah, good. Yeah,
in the third house. Thanks. And so, you know, it's the twins, it's the hands, it's then you know, the duality principle comes in. We start thinking about, you know, ourself and another, actually. So it's the third house, but it's.
Do you want to write 1, 2, and 3, just so people remember? Yeah. 1, 2. So that represents the houses: first house, second house, third house.
Yeah. So but yeah, that's the third house, sibling twins. It's usually, you know, it's just children, actually. It's like, you know, brother and sister often here, you know. You find this.
Which is cool, because my third house is Leo, and my brother is a Leo sun.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Crazy. Yeah, there you go. So, yeah, it's just like, it's the theme of, you know what I mean? Okay, and it's what it really is. We'll talk about it, actually, the journey of the twin souls, actually. So it's, you meet your twin soul here, and it's usually in the form of a brother, sister, someone who's just so much like you. They're so in the same conditions as you. As a soul came in to the same conditions. You know what I mean? You're literally from the same parents. You're like so similar. Your genetic makeup is so the same. So you're almost like, you know, you're twins in a way. It's you know, it couldn't be more similar to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you sort of meet the twin soul here, but it's destined to fail. You know what I mean? Because it's like set up in this conflictual nature. You know what I mean? You're siblings, so you can't actually, you know, it's not. You're sort of in that conditions where it's like
Together yet apart.
Yeah, exactly.
Journey.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and you're just
to have
learning
your
about
own journey.
Yeah, that's right. You're learning about how I'm different from this person who's so similar to me, and then it's often a thing you find in families. You know, the boy gets favored somehow, and the girl has to get humbled, often because she's the female lines over here are actually sacred planets, so they're actually more benefic. So they're actually more attuned to the sacred. So they're actually more capable beings, females, in that they don't have to deal with the malefic aspects of what the male planets are. So they just have a more natural, harmonious.
So I know what benefic and malefic means. What does benefic mean for someone that doesn't know?
It could be benefic means like beneficial.
Yeah.
So it's
the etymology of the word's obvious, but I just thought I'd ask.
Yeah. Well, it's beneficial. It's positive. It's sacred. It's like.
And malefic.
Malefic is like
the opposite.
Yeah. So you know, it's just a negative effect. Finally, though, you'll see in the long term that a negative effect actually turns out to be a positive thing, because you work consistently a negative thing. Like it's negative to go to work every day and force yourself into a situation to work, right? But you do that in the long term, and that gives you the ability to have property and have land and have, you know what I mean?
Sure.
So it's like, whereas if you, hey, I just want to be free all the time, and it's great, but then you don't.
Turns malefic.
It turns malefic. So this is the other thing. It's like
everything's a polarity.
Everything's polarity. That's right.
Which you'll see as you keep doing the houses and the signs.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they all have an opposite sign, like a sister sign.
Exactly.
So we are at Cancer.
Yeah, which is real for the moon. And that's here, the water sign. Then the water element gets developed, and it's about developing a feeling. Water's a feeling. So it's on the human journey anyway. It's like, well, even the animals have that as well. It's actually universal. But it's, you know, the mother. It's like I have needs from someone, you know, and it's the mother. I'm a fucking helpless baby, and I need the milk. I need the fucking. I need the tit. I need it. Yeah. I need, you know, and so it's needs. Cancer rising. Yeah. That's me. Yeah. So, you know, we develop that attachment, right? And obviously, it's a critical period. That's why motherhood's so important. You know, the way that you relate and bond with your child is, you know, important. You know, but depending, because again, on a soul level, someone's chart may be different. It might indicate, well, you know, so you can't ever even blame their conditions.
That's right. Well, the fourth house also, just the sign Cancer and the fourth house are related through what the fourth house represents. Yeah,
mother, family, you know, those early impressions you got, I guess, that condition you, and it's kind of in a way of like how well your needs were met, if you're able to meet your needs in that period. And so if, you know, maybe if you've got planets in the fourth house, or, you know what I mean, whatever constellations affecting your fourth house will sort of show how you meet your needs, or what's kind of what your needs are, you know. So you can sort of look at it that way. But anyway, once that developmental stage happens, you know, you get off the milk, and then, you know,
because Aries is the baby, right? It's the, you know, we're aging through the signs, yeah?
Yeah, that's right. Yep. And it's literally, I mean, Aries is, although it does have a human element, but yeah, it is like literally the germination of a seed, like it's the explosion of that will to move up to the sun. Like it's like that's that. But it also does have a human aspect, which is just like a will to fight. Like, I've got to fucking fight. I got to get my own shit, and I got to fight everyone to get it. So I've just got to be fucking independent and just do what I do, and not really give a fuck, and you know what I mean. So it also has this martial quality, which in a bigger sense is like more organized. You know, like Mars rules, you know, the Roman epoch, which was before the Pisces epoch. This is about 4,000 or 5,200 years ago when the Roman army was at its peak. So it's actually does have an epoch, an age to it, you know, where the military qualities of a society were developed in an ultimate sense. You know, the Romans had the superior capacity of the way that they organized around the principle of the emperor and the solar principle of fighting in battle, and you know, like that allegiance to the empire, which is sort of necessary for that Martian expression. But you know, depending on where your Mars is, you know, we'll just show you how like you is best to express that for you as an individual.
Speaking of, let's move on to the 5th house, because that's where my Mars is.
Oh yeah, wow. Yeah,
5th house is a fire house.
Yeah.
It's Leo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is
sun.
Ruled by the sun.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is like you know, it's ruled by the sun. It's that like kids, you know what I mean? Like they're, you know, the sun is a 1-year-old, but so that's the closest you get to it. Like if you think of a 1-year-old baby, can't even walk, and it just gets pushed around in the stroller. Everyone loves it. Oh look, you know, it just makes you happy, you know. And the sun's like that, you know. Our sun's like that. It's a little baby, 1-year-old.
Like Teletubby.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Pretty much.
Have you seen Teletubbies?
Yeah.
And the sun.
Yeah,
is
that's
a baby.
right. Exactly. Yeah, baby with marijuana, teenager mixed in. Yeah, yeah. But so at least it's you know, in this it's children, and so it's that young kind of, but it's the will to have fun. You know, this
That's
like
right.
that's the.
And describe the 5th house, and how does that correlate to Leo and the sun?
Yeah, well, it's children, it's creative expression. It's just, I guess, it's the will of the sun, which is, you know, like if you think you're out, you're getting sun, you know, you're going for a walk, you're out there, you're getting the sun, you're feeling good, you know, and it just makes you feel good. It's a radiant light. It's a
fun,
beautiful,
creative, joyful,
it's like a child.
playful.
It's fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like nothing serious. You don't have any responsibilities.
Kids,
you just got off
family,
the tit.
Yeah.
So you're out there having, you know, you're a kid. You're just having fun. Like that's what it's about.
Playful house.
Yeah.
Right.
So Leo, you know, he just want to have fun, and you know, it's funny because it's opposite Aquarius, which is like a very old.
Yeah, but we can look at the oppositions once once
okay.
everything's filled in. It'll be easy
It'll be
to
more
point
clear.
that out. Well, you've already got Sag-in, which is opposite Gemini.
Yeah.
So
maybe we'll just
let's
keep
move
going
on
then.
to the 6th.
Okay.
We're going back to Earth.
Yeah, that's right.
Right,
Then it
so
starts again.
Virgo.
Yep. So it starts again. But it's back to mutable. So, God, that's terrible.
It's okay. We get the gist.
Yeah.
Work on your glyphs, bro.
Oh God, that's bad. Okay, but
Chiron.
Chiron, yeah. I mean, it's
Chiron and
Mercury,
Mercury.
but it's actually Chiron.
Wow.
Yeah, 'cause-
True.
Yeah.
I always forget that.
Yep. So Virgo's 6th house is ruled by
I love
Chiron.
the glyph for Chiron. How it's like a key.
Little key, that's right.
Key.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a key to the lock of your heart, basically, because it's, you know, it's a healing. Like we've all become acculturated. We've become, you know, civilized to the point where we're wounded, or we're cut off from our primordial self, which is what the mutable signs embody. The mutable signs, like have this memory and experience, and they hold the knowing of the ancient self, which is just like when we were close to nature. We will, you know, it really represents that angelic experience of being one with nature, one with God. And the mutable signs hold that memory, they hold that primordial type of existence, and Chiron particularly. So the myth of Chiron was a centaur, and the centaurs traditionally rule actually Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a big energy. 27 degrees over here is the
Galactic center.
Yeah. So this is a very large
Which
portion
is
of
where
space.
my sun is.
Yeah. Yeah, so you've got such a huge energy, just big open to all the crazy shit that goes on. And if you know, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, so lots of crazy, wild shit. Like the centaurs were just crazy, ruly, just wild creatures, you know? These half horses, the galloping, it's legs. So just the legs.
The thighs.
The
So
thighs.
each sign rules a part of the body, and we can probably do another diagram or put a link to a poster. A graphic that shows that, because that's the easiest way to show it, how the constellations lie across the body.
Yeah, that's right.
And the chakras.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, exactly.
But legs. We're up to legs.
That's a good idea.
So we started at the head, we moved to Taurus, which is the throat, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Gemini.
Yeah, and we're around in Virgo now, which is the belly.
Is the belly.
Yeah.
That's right.
So the digestion system, its health, it's relating to digestion, because it's also how we digest food, but like it's such a key thing to health, all the stomach stuff. Like if you're not digesting properly, you'll find a lot of issues come from digestion, like either just not correct assimilating your food, you're not getting your nutrients, and it's also just the perception of like being able to absorb life and what it means for you. So it's such a, but it's a lot to do with health and healing. 6th house has to do with order, putting things in place. Virgo is the virgin who gives birth or organizes the temple, basically. Virgo organizes the temple, priestess who organizes the space physically so that the spirit of God can come into the physical body. So it's like they're temple keepers, they like to keep things.
Do you know any Virgos?
One out there somewhere. Yeah. As you can see, that's very appropriate. But it does deal with the wound. I mean, we bring Chiron in. It's such an important thing to do, because it deals with the wound. And Chiron got hit by one of Jupiter's arrows accidentally, and so he was wounded, and then he couldn't help himself, but he was able to heal other people. So this is kind of the dynamic of our natal Chiron.
It gave him superpowers.
It gives him superpowers. Yeah, that's right, and it did. And he trained. It's also to do with mentorship, because he trained the heroes. So Chiron is like a force of nature that's wise. It's very powerful. Like centaurs are like these huge beings. Like they're very powerful spirits, but Chiron was a gentle one. He was like, I'm not going to join those drinkers, those partiers.
I like Chiron.
Yeah, he's cool. He's very cool. Very ancient guy. And but wise, he spends time alone. He likes to go alone.
I think it's a cool point in the chart to look at for people.
Yeah, definitely.
Even in the basics.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Yep. Especially now it's in Aries. Like I think a lot of people in just regular society are like, fuck, all this headlong shit into whatever just doesn't work.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of people. Yeah. That's a good point where we can go with that.
7th house.
Yeah, and then we can.
So we've done the below the horizon. So we've done the personal houses.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, that's right. So now the 7th house, is ruled by Venus, and like you say, it's above the horizon, so it's more like
visible.
Yeah, visible. Yep, it's the outer world. This is the visible world, the world of the day.
This is where we start to interact with the world and with others.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Dinaural, nocturnal. So Libra here is the ruler of institutions. You think of Venus. Libra is the legal system. Something that's trying to get you go and commit your crime, but you show up there and
justice.
There'll be a woman and she'll be your legal aid, and she'll be helping you deal with this Capricorn judge who's gonna fucking judge you.
Saturnian being.
Saturnian fucking judge up here. He's I've obviously got issues with authority. Clearly.
Little
bit. But he's up there judging in the 10th house. Following every fucking rule. But he actually wants to be here because he's exalted here, so he actually wants to be here, which is the feminine face of justice. Is it's a beautiful thing. It's like someone's helping you. There's a woman and she's the face of it. So it's like shop fronts. It's it's the society, it's the visible, beautiful face of the woman, and the beautiful face of society, you know, the apparent side. Whereas, you know, Scorpio would be like maybe the hidden side, that, you know, the darker, more taboo, hidden side, you know.
So Libra rules the 7th house. So what's the 7th house about now that we're in the visible world?
Yeah, okay, well, it's relationships, it's, you know, commitment, it's marriage. Here, you know, this is the house of marriage. Contracts, yep.
Law again.
Signing, law, exactly, yep. Partnerships, yep. Yeah, that's right, contracts. Yeah, you know, so planets here will just indicate, you know, you're gonna be in a relationship, you know what I mean? You're gonna probably be in a long-term relationship. If you've got planets there, you know, they're gonna be significant for you.
Just a few.
Yeah.
So 7th house is, it's a big one when people look at their charts initially. So a lot of people, one, are concerned with the self. So, you know, the ascendant, first house.
Yep.
You know, obviously your moon and your rising, but also your 7th house is tends to be, I think, your 4th house, 10th house.
Yep. Yeah.
They're important, but
yeah, that's right. Yeah, the way they are, because ultimately we're in a cardinal age now. Like Aries, the cardinal signs, Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Saturn. We're pretty much in the sign of the cardinals now. If you look at the culture and where we're at evolutionary, so the cardinal cross, Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, are the sign of the system. So this is the system. This is how you know, the world is based on an old man and a young old man, old woman. Or well, first it was young man, young woman.
That's right. Aries, Venus. So Mars, Venus. Men are from Mars. Women are from Venus.
Exactly.
There's your connection.
Together. That's it. That's it. And they get together and they meet and they have a great time. And you know, ideally, in an ideal world, you know, it was organized in a great way and they did the work, I guess, to sort of, you know, whatever that takes to be in a long-term thing. It's more complex now. I mean, I think traditionally, historically, it was probably easier. Back in the day, there wasn't so many conditions working against something working out. I think probably now we're in a unique thing where the blending a lot of stuff and this transpersonal stuff going on. It's harder and harder to make this work, especially, you know, on your first time. But ideally, you know, they stay together, have kids, and then they grow old together. The old man and the old woman, you know, they stay together and they build their home and their legacy and they have the kids and whatever. But, you know, easier said than done in more traditional ages. We're actually in the age of the epoch of Aquarius, late degrees. So we're actually in a very non-traditional epoch. So it's more about radical individuality rather than, you know, conformity and
that's important. So we'll have to do something else on how the ages are determined, because it's pretty crucial right now, right?
Yeah,
We've just
totally.
had Pluto go back to 29 degrees Capricorn.
Yep.
And then it will never go back there in our lifetime. It's going to forge forward into Aquarius, which is changing of the times.
Yep, that's right. Yep. Yeah, that's a big one, actually.
Yes,
Yeah. So, yeah.
So back in Capland for another few months.
Yep.
For the last time ever. That's
yeah,
where we've
in
been
our lives.
for however many years.
Yeah, 12 years.
12.
So 12 years. So think back, like, what, 2008, something like that.
Exactly.
It's like, you know, all the COVID shit, the madness that went on. I mean, it doesn't have a great, you know, Pluto transformation, death, rebirth, and stability structure. They don't correlate a lot. Big time tension, man. You know, and it's just, you know, the reveal, you know, for me, yeah, it's just not a comfortable placement. I mean, it's...
Bring on the age of Aquarius.
I reckon.
And a lot of people have probably heard about the age of Aquarius. Well, that's what it means. So we can talk about that later, but that's kind of where that's coming from.
Yeah.
And we have Aquarius, which is an air sign.
Yep. Ruled by Uranus.
And it's fixed.
Yep.
Fixed air.
Yep, exactly. So, fixed, and that's just the
fixed fire.
Yep, fixed
water.
Yep.
We have fixed Earth.
Exactly. And that's just the condition, and this is the modes again. So the modes: mutable, fixed, and cardinal. And it's just the conditions of the elements. So the 4 elements: fire, earth, air, water, and they are either under one of those conditions. And so mutable is changing, it's open. This is Pisces, Gemini, Virgo, Sag. They're open, they just remain open, and they represent like the original condition of consciousness, which is one with the Creator. It's one with God. We came from spirit, we came from being connected to everything, not separate. We didn't know separation at some point, and we were fully connected, you know. And so it's this holy sort of place of consciousness, but it lacks individuality. And so the problem with that was, you know, we're here with spirit, with God and everything, but it was that we didn't have individuality. So the intention of consciousness was to have its own experience and to go, you know, and it mutates into it. I want to fix the elements. I want to go and fixate the elements in a particular way, and that's what the fixed signs do. They go, no, I'm not going to be open. I'm going to now direct and control the element.
Makes total sense.
And so we fall from this angelic state of the mutables into the animal. We fall from a high state of being one with the Creator into very dense conditions of the animal nature. We fall into being a cow, a bull, a lion. You know, we've got to fight and dominate, you know. Or we've got to hide in our rock and then kill anyone who comes near us. Yeah. And they're controlled by the human, the strong man, strong woman. So that this is another symbol showing us that we actually need to control our animal nature. And that's what Aquarius does. But this is the problem with the fixed signs, is they clash. They become, I want to fix it this way, you want to fix it that way, so we're fucking fighting, you know. And that's, you find that with fixed signs, there's the inevitable clash that goes on. And so the cardinal signs are where the blending of those two things happen. So the mutables blend the openness of the mutables and the initiative of the fixed signs. So they remain open while also taking initiative. So the cardinal signs is where they say that the soul takes initiation.
Yeah. Aries.
Yeah, that's right. Where are you going? Oh yeah, I have to line up the fixed ones.
Yep.
Yeah, so the cardinals are great. Like, they show you where you can get shit done in the world, you know. It's like you can succeed. Like, you got cardinals planets, it's like, cool, you should do something normal, you know, and something in the society, something in a traditional way, and you'll be able to achieve with that.
Got that good balance.
Yeah. But whereas if you've got mutable planets, it's like, nah, it's probably more like you need freedom, you need to be connected, you need to be close to nature, and you need to have like freedom.
Yeah.
You know, you need that connected space. Yeah. So, but say you've got fixed planets, it's more like, well, you need a creative, you know, they need to be expressive. It needs to be, you know, depending on what it is, you need to have that
focus.
Like, that type of fixity. And we always say just your soul is whatever the rising sign is. So depending on your rising sign will show on what cross your soul is situated in this lifetime. So you look at your rising, say you've got Cancer rising, okay, you're on the cardinal cross. So the overall theme is somehow that you've got to achieve something or integrate with the society, you know, in that sense. So you could be way off with that, but you know, it can give us a lot of information anyway. So now, anyway, we've gone right here, weren't we?
That's right. You just got to put the cardinal houses in.
The
fixed houses in. So just write in the mutables and the cardinal.
Okay, yeah.
Represented by the C and the M.
Yep. Okay, so cardinal Cancer, cardinal Aries. Yep, and mutables Pisces. Mutable Gemini, mutable Virgo, mutable Saggy. Yeah, good old Saggy. The King. So all of the, you know, Sagittarius rules the mutables. He's like the king of the chart, you know. He's like the king up there, you know. Although Neptune now brings in another element where it's like, well, the sea. But anyway, that's a bit
So let's go on to the 8th house.
Yeah,
Scorpio.
yeah. So
It's a big one.
It is actually. It's a huge one. You know, sex and death. It's all about. Here we really have to like go through a transformation and die. You know, everything in life dies. It's a universal thing, and it deals with. It's how we deal with loss. And you know, the hidden taboo things. Like this is the area that's beyond Libra and that visible society of traditions and you know the appearance of things. Scorpio is where you move into the generative organs in the body. You know, elimination, like having a shit, is a Scorpio experience. You're eliminating waste, so it's very intense, you know. But it's great, you know. Fuck, you have a shit, you feel good. Get out the shit. But it's also ovulation and ejaculation in the man or woman, so it's very intense. But it has to do with bonding, you know. Like ovulation is the process of the woman creating the space for a new life, and ejaculation is the same. It's the process of the man. More challenging for the man, and it does represent a loss, but you know, ovulation as well in its own way. So it does deal with bonding. The emotional bonding is developed in Scorpio in the 8th house. It's bonding with another person physically, sexually. That's like that trust that you need. Like sexuality requires a.
And it's fixed water.
Yeah.
So that's also.
Yeah, it's right. I'm fixing my feelings around this point of like I need to fucking
depth.
Feel. Yeah, that's right. I need to feel something, and it's related to another person. But it does deal with all that, you know, all that hidden taboo stuff where it's like, so it's Pluto. It's you know, and it's liberation. Pluto wants to actually liberate us and to free us. So, but it's intense. You know what I mean? It's the last planet, so it deals with. Death. It's dying.
Endings.
Yeah, it is.
Transformations.
Yep. Those attachments that we develop need to die, you know. So see, they all also elements. They function in not only singularity on their own, but in the polarity of the two, but also the trinity of the three.
That's right.
So
the 3 water signs.
Yeah. So we develop an emotional attachment here to the mother. We develop an attachment to the partner here, and we let go of that and develop an emotional relationship to spirit, to the creator here. So they're all about the water signs. Are about developing some kind of bond or feeling, you know. But it's done in this threefold form. Whereas so like Aries is about asserting and expressing the self. Whereas you know,
it's outward expression.
Yeah. Yep.
Really?
And then but it's more fun.
It is fun.
Here you got to sort of battle.
Yeah.
And whereas Jupiter is like freedom, you know, and
expansion.
Yeah.
Jupiter expands what it touches.
That's it.
Gotta actually put the Jupiter symbol in. Oh, we haven't even gone there yet.
True.
But...
that's right. So so they all act in triplicities. So you know, it's good to remember that. So it's like nothing's. Yeah, that trinity helps coming in. Like obviously, once we know the signs, then we can go, okay, what's their opposite, drawn together, and then okay, how do they work together? So, you know, and then you could do the 4 with the modes of the elements. But anywho, let's just roll on.
8th house.
8th house.
Let's go 9th house.
9th house. Yep.
Sag.
Okay, so this is Sag. 9th house is travel. It's you know, we go beyond the death experience. We die. We have that psychedelic trip, or you know, whatever it is, the loss, and we get an expansion. The galaxy goes, great, you went through that journey. Now we're going to shoot you and expand you and take you on that journey. You know, to have our horizons and our perspectives expanded. So, you know, Jupiter is other cultures. It's international travel. It's
knowledge.
Philosophy, knowledge. Yep. Other religions. It's bigger perspectives. It's the highway. It's movement. It's the galloping horse. You know, it's
the centaur, the archer.
Yep. And it's pointing its arrow towards something. You know, it can be very lightning bolts of Zeus. You know, it can be, you know, Sagittarius are very man. They tell you how it is. You know, it can be Jesus. You know, because they're very straight up. You know, and they're holding a lot of energy. Yeah.
Know any?
Huh?
Know any?
Yeah, one. Yeah, she's like that. Okay. Yeah.
9th house. Let's go. 10th house.
10th house. So yeah, but you know, so anyway, yes, so, yeah, okay. Well, yeah, and so once that's developed, then it's like, okay, so we've got these different cultures, this world, you know, the trading routes get developed, you know. But then, okay, so then now we have a world online, you know, and that's going to need, you know, the world, international markets. Okay, now we're going to need that to be organized and directed around a principle and a bit, you know, something, and that's Capricorn in the 10th house. It's like, you know, governments, it's institutions of, that have that a bigger responsibility to something, and it's building. It's a building of a world system, really. But on a national level, right? Like that's government. You know, like to have a country work, you need an organizing principle, which is basically all the individuals really like doing a particular work. Then it needs to be arranged, it needs to be financed.
Which is why the 10th house rules career and work and government.
Yeah.
What else?
Yeah, well, it's
ruled by Capricorn, Saturn.
Yep. So it's your career. It's your, you know, it's your like, what you want to achieve and what your bigger, like, what's the governing principle of your life? What's your, if you were a government in yourself, what would your directive be?
Mine's in Pisces.
Yeah. So the government is just, I need to just dissolve. I need to be able to just fucking not
cool.
do anything.
This is what's cool because everyone's is different, right? But it's ruled by Capricorn. So Capricorn is the ruling energy, right?
Exactly.
Of the 10th house.
That's right. So, okay, what signs ruling your 10th will show you how you need to set up your government, you know, because the government is really just an externalization of it's a governing that we have to do with ourselves. And once we know our chart, we can begin to govern ourselves a bit more intelligently, not by, you know, external influence. We go, okay, this is myself, and this is how I want to run things. So, okay, like I've got Aries. Taurus. Oh yeah, well, Aries. Yeah, it's Aries and Taurus. So I've got Aries about here. About here. So I've got Taurus and Aries. So it's a mix of like the stability and the work in regards to also having the just fuck it, I'm doing it. It's some crazy, I'm just going for it, Aries thing. So, but yeah, check your 10th house. Like check your 10th house and just see how you.
Well, that's your MC point. So you've got your 4 points, which are key, you know, which you've drawn in with the cross.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
They're points to look at, right? Your ascendant, descendant, MCIC.
Yeah, that's right.
So 1st house, 7th house, 4th house, 10th house.
Yeah, that's right. Because they're the equilibrium points. They represent the points of what is in the seasonal cycle, which is just a wave that we follow of the sun, and it all begins in Aries, the vernal equinox, and the wave goes up, the sun extrudes to its highest point, and then falls, comes back to that point, and falls now down below the horizon, and goes into winter, and comes back again to its equilibrium point. This, and the constellations are here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're on this line, and so these points here, the ascendant, descendant, represent these points of equilibrium. So in nature, the points of equilibrium are revered when we have these special points.
the seasons.
Yeah, they're the seasons when they're in balance. So it's like anything that's in balance is nature. It's like, wow, it's special, it's balanced.
Yeah.
Because the condition of nature often is crazy, it's chaotic, it's not balanced.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get it, and it does happen every year, you know, the creators perfectly created this wonderful thing, and it's this incredible unfolding. And astrology is just describing and showing us this incredible journey through this wave.
Yeah. I know your chart's busy, but write number 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12 through the houses. Because we will get a little photo. It's a lot to take in, but if you watch the whole lot, it makes sense. If you were to just look at that, you would be like, what? But, you know, we've explained that, so that all makes sense. Alright, 10th house, so number 11, legs 11.
Yeah, okay, and so, you know, the career, the institution, the government, the family, Saturn, the father figure, but, you know, that's a limiting factor. It's always limiting. It's a no. At some point, that becomes too restrictive, and there needs to be something that breaks that bond of the family, of the tradition, of the culture, of the society, and smash through and create liberation, which is what Uranus does. Uranus, it breaks through and smashes that tradition. It goes, I can't handle this restriction, and I'm actually older than you. I'm actually more ancient. I have more power, so I'm not going to be restricted by you. And it's it's that will to break that and smash through and create freedom.
We'll have a Uranus transit and you'll know all about it, hey?
Yeah.
Which is why people need to know their chart, 'cause if you know when Uranus is hitting your ascendant, it's pretty important.
Yeah,
but
that's
why
a
you
big
got to know
one.
your chart,
That's
right?
a big one. Yeah, exactly.
If you didn't know that, you wouldn't know what the hell was going on.
Yeah.
But when you know, you just ride the wave, baby.
That's it. Rather than resisting it, like imagine if you didn't know and just resisting it.
And I'd be like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, I feel like this, but I can't put my finger on it, so I'm just going to stay here. And
That's right, which you see people doing.
yeah.
If you can look at their chart and say, hey, this is happening for you, but you know, it all passes, it all moves, and it all has a purpose.
Yeah.
It's actually divinely orchestrated, so
Yep.
that's the beauty of it, really. It's the gift.
Exactly. The universe is a helpful, wonderful thing. It wants everything for us to create. It wants... It's already given us the gifts, like they're already there. It's in our soul nature. It already made us perfect. And we make it imperfect by being out of it or being locked into things that limit the infinity of that we were gifted with by the Creator. So knowing this, we know ourselves and can allow the gifts of nature and the Creator to, you know, naturally express themselves, thinking we have to, you know, be restricted like this. But anyway,
what are we doing in the 11th house?
Well,
yeah, we're breaking out. We're ruled by Aquarius.
Yeah,
Uranus.
Yeah. So it's freedom, but it's friends, they say traditionally, and but they're real friends, you know. This is friends.
Community.
Yep. Can be that groups, can be, I mean, in my thinking, it's people who've been on the radical process of individuation. So this is not an easy path. Like this is, and not a lot of, you know, it's radical to break institutional memes or ways of doing things, you know. Sure. Often have historically punished greatly, you know, like Jesus broke the narrative and he got murdered, you know.
Well, let's talk again in 12 years and see what happens in the age of Aquarius, and that'll be a perfect example. People want to start learning astrology, start tuning in now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yep. So, you know, it's not an easy one, you know, but I think people who've been through that radical journey of individuation, which is difficult, you have to deal with this. You're now, what's that meme on the, you know, you went crazy, had a spiritual awakening, went crazy, and now everyone hates you or whatever it is. There's that guy with the T.
Oh, yeah.
Right, welcome to paradise.
Yeah, we need to put these on Astro.
We should,
find some good memes.
Yeah, that's good.
We'll have to do some meme sharing.
Yeah.
Give some credit to some funny creators.
Yeah.
There's some good ones. It's a great way to learn astrology, actually, through memes.
Yeah, you're good at that. It's a bit of your
good.
thing, isn't it?
Well, I just find them.
You do?
I don't make them, I find them.
There's a lot of them.
They're
great.
good.
It's great because it's funny.
It is funny, and it's a light-hearted way to learn. I'll have to find some and share some.
Yeah, totally.
Alright.
But it's anyway. It's like it's breaking the bonds. You know, it's that liberation of, okay, I'm not. I can choose to follow those rules because it's helpful for me, but at some point I just have to go, no, fuck it, and, you know, and do that. So where Uranus will indicate where you like cannot be held by institution or any type of restriction, you know, and it's your kind of duty to attain that type of freedom for yourself. So yeah, and then 12th house is here where we go, okay, fuck, it's fucking pretty crazy being an individual all the time. It's like, what? It's just radical, right? And it's a lot
Pisces.
of energy. Yeah, and then Pisces goes, okay, cool, that's great. Now just go under the sea and become a fish and just dissolve. You know what I mean? Just.
Well, the symbol is the two fish. So what do they represent?
Yeah, well, it's the fishes in the water of the unconscious. It's the like.
Well, one is and one isn't. One's up with spirit and one's on earth, and they're connected by the invisible string.
Yeah.
Which is not really sort of shown there, but it's often the symbol of Pisces, isn't it? Yeah, that's right. That's what it is.
Yeah. But you know, this theme, like Satan and Jesus. You know, there's this theme of good and bad, and you find this for sure. You find this with Pisces. You know,
duality,
it's like,
polarity.
We can't just allow that there's two. It's got to be a good guy and a bad guy, right?
All encompassing, the culmination of the 12 signs.
Yeah, but you know, but you see, especially over here, we have this, you know, the martyr complex, because it is, and that's just actually at this point represents our lack of understanding with the unconscious, because we have this, we're in these strict cardinal modes where we've got to have this, you know, very clear, and we don't, you know, so the fact that we have to just kill someone who's actually a holy person.
The story of Jesus.
And that's, see, they all have, you know, avatars or people that perfectly express the energy of the age. You know, often in history you'll find people who perfectly express the energy of the age. And Jesus, in my estimation, kind of most perfectly was Piscean, and that archetype of being a perfect person who was sacrificed and martyred for his, it's a challenge to the authority, really, and but it was, you know, in that losing, also it's the sacrificing the lower self, sacrificing the human self, you have to sacrifice these elements to transcend, to go back to spirit, and then, it's going back to and redissolving into that mutable nature again, where you're back to being one with the Creator. So Pisces, the 12th house, is how we get back to being one with spirit. How do we re-experience what we come from, which is whole brain functioning, which is heart-mind coherence, where we're one with ourselves and one with the Creator and creation. So 12th house, those first 2 hours as the sun's rising, you know, is a great way to just reconnect with that beautiful rising light. You know, a
lot of people say it's the most spiritually connected, calm time of the day. It's where they meditate. It's where they tune into, you know, and I think there's a reason for that. They're probably tuning into that without actually noticing what they're doing.
100%. Everything is like, once you tune into this, you know, this. You
start your day with your connection. To spirit, and then you're okay. To move through.
And if you're up here and you battle and you do your battles 4 to 6, like those 2 hours before the sun, bakers are up doing, you know what I mean? Like that's the time you want to battle. So you can run your life around this as well and get a lot of, you can optimize, you know. It's actually like, there's so much information in this that, I mean, it's crazy, it contains everything, really.
It actually does.
Yeah. So anyway, that's just a loose, brief sketch of how it works.
I actually think it's quite in depth. I don't think it's loose and brief at all.
Okay, yeah,
that's great.
True, yeah.
Anything else?
No, but if you want us to do like your chart, I guess obviously just like DM us or click the Calendly link that I think I have in the.
It's in there.
Yeah.
And then we can do yours. Yeah. And then we can see.
Yeah.
What's your house? What does your chart look like? Because this is the chart. This is, you know. Right. Everyone's is different.
Yeah.
More personal.
Yeah, this is just because obviously at the moment you were born, it's different because there's a constellation here, there's a planet here, and it's unique to you. That's why it's like, what we do is we're looking at no one else was born at that time in that place, so that location is exact. So that's why we look at your chart and go, this is the exact influences of these incredibly large bodies constellations are huge. You know, constellations are made up of many stars, incredibly huge, you know, points of light. Some of them are very massive. Like, for example, over here, there's this constellation, Canis Major, which contains Sirius, which is around July 6th.
Correct.
Point. There's a star.
My cousin's born on that day, I think.
Yeah, Liberation Day.
Yeah.
Because it's this is when the sun aligns with the star Sirius, which is actually a trinary star system. Sirius and A and B. There's a neutron star, I think it is, in Sirius that spins around Sirius A, and it's incredibly, powerful force.
It affects Earth.
Affects Earth in
majorly
ways.
Slows or speeds up.
Yeah, it does. It's slow. That's
rotation of the
right.
planet.
That's right. The incredible gravity of this neutron.
It spins so fast.
I think it's 24 times a minute.
Crazy.
And it's 300 million times the like a teaspoon is very
so heavy.
Yeah, and it's this mass, and it's going around another star.
Something 1,000 times heavier than a diamond or something. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, incredibly powerful, and it's spinning. And so this star comes here on the 6th of July, which is, so a lot of countries have Independence Days. The American celebrate their Independence Day.
Yeah, it's wild.
Because it's close to Sirius.
Makes so much sense.
Yeah. So,
there's so much of that.
There's so much of that.
That's an important piece.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to understand the influence, I think, that these stars and planetary bodies have. You know, when they say they don't, how can they affect you? Well, does the moon affect us? You can't argue that it doesn't. Speak to anyone that works in emergency. You know, does Sirius affect us? Scientifically proven to affect the Earth's...
actual...
So
day,
anyway, it affects everyone differently.
No, but that's a pseudoscience. It's not real. It's satanic and of the
going
devil.
Into character now.
No, it's not of Jesus. So you can't look at it. No,
this
satanic.
Is good. I like this.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, this is good. So we'll save this. We'll put it on. We'll pin it to something. Where can we pin this? Maybe on the Facebook page, YouTube.
Yeah.
And this will just be available. So, available, for everyone.
Yeah, totally. Yep.
It's important. And once you have this basic understanding, then you can get straight into reading your chart without needing to know this. Because without really having much of an understanding, it can be quite overwhelming to take in.
Yeah. And we're having a course created about this, so we're going to go over and just in detail all the houses, all the signs, the modes.
Yep, it'd be super affordable, super easy, just be some videos and some simple resources, and you can just move through that in your own time.
Yeah.
You know, buy a notebook, make some notes, watch the videos, and, you know, get the most out of this for yourself, for your family, for your friends, for your career, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Very cool,
That's
man.
good stuff.
All right,
cool.
Thanks, dude.
All right, thanks.
See ya.
Cool, see ya.